Welcome to the Real Retirees of New Jersey, powered by Liberty Financial Group and Artemis Wealth Advisors. Randy and Peggy Fisher want to help you retire once and retire right. Get more information at therealretireesofnewjersey.com. They never throw the first punch, but they're always a knockout.
Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for downloading. But most importantly, thanks for listening. This is the Real Retirees of New Jersey podcast with Peggy and Randy Fisher. It's all powered by Liberty Financial Group and Artemis Wealth Advisors. You can get more when you visit therealretireesofnewjersey.com. You can find that and all the information here in the show notes. My name is Mark Owens. Now, let's get to the show. How are y'all doing this weekend?
Doing great, Mark.
Doing good. Welcome back.
Tell me about your Paris trip.
We went to Paris.
It was amazing.
All right, good talk. All right, let's get to
it. It was absolutely amazing. Paris. Everyone should go to Paris at least once.
What was the
Traffic
highlight?
was absurd.
Yeah, just like New York. It's crazy.
No, it's not. It's worse.
Okay, maybe a little worse. Maybe a little worse. But
the highlight?
Yeah.
Got to keep it PG. So
Yes, sir.
call it the nights. Paris nights.
Paris nights were wonderful.
It's for lovers.
But no, I would say highlight Randy, Palace of Versailles was amazing. Absolutely stunning. There's nothing like that in the world to think.
That was nice.
Yeah, it was gorgeous, right?
So what do those overseas, what do they think of Americans? You know,
You
Trump,
won't even believe it.
Yeah.
Is it good?
Outstanding.
Yeah.
Okay, that's great. Because my older brother lives in Ireland. They love Americans, and they are fascinated by Trump. They think we all know Trump.
We could not believe how much talk we had.
I was waiting for people to say
Yeah.
how much they hate him. And
They
this, that,
all said they loved him.
I did not find one human being in Europe that did not like Trump.
Yeah, they actually are shocked that people in the United States don't
I was
like him.
shocked.
That's what they're.
I was
they're
shocked.
shocked about. That the United States doesn't love him.
Fascinating.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it really is. It's great to when you travel to see what others think. It truly is fascinating.
But you know what they all said? They're glad he's back in because now the world can get back to
That's
normal.
what they were all saying, because it's not just about us. And that's what they were saying over there is this is about everybody, everybody being in peace. You know, that's what they talked about, like, you know, everybody being in peace, everybody, you know, business being, you know, top notch and successful and things like that. That's how they see it. You know what I mean? Which is really
it's just a matter
stunning.
of carrying a big stick. You know what I mean? It's not. It's what you can do with it, not what you're going to do with it. But, you know, it's putting everybody back in place for the most part. I mean, look at all the tariff talk that's over here over the last number of weeks, right? Everybody's flipping out about tariff. That is a negotiation process in which I've actually talked about probably for the last 9 or 10 months. Every time somebody brought up inflation and tariffs are going to cause inflation and blah, 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 I keep telling them, listen, we may not have one tariff in place, but the fact that he's actually threatening a tariff, it's kind of like a parent saying, you know what, if you do that, you're not going out on Friday night. If you don't clean your room, you're not going to do this, or I'm not going to give you that. It's the same concept, right? It's a give and take. So it's a negotiation to get them to do what he wants them to do. You want to shut down the border? Not only do we want to shut down the border, but I'm sure Mexico wants to shut down the border.
Yeah.
And how easily can you do it? By threatening that they're going to tariff the hell out of them if they don't actually, you know, conduct the compliance, for lack of better words, to conduct a compliance of what we're looking for. So you have to have cooperation on both sides, right? Just because you shut one down doesn't mean that it's not going to continue to happen.
Yeah, but I believe that they just announced this week that Mexico and China, 25% tariffs are going to be put on them immediately as soon as it comes in. Yeah, in Canada. Yes.
But that's usually, I mean, Canada.
Right. Yep.
You know.
I saw a story this week, too. Same thing. The president of Mexico came and said, finally, they're going to start working with us about border security.
The interesting part is, Mark, and everybody listens, everybody thinks that these tariffs are actually brand new. Tariffs have been around since the beginning of the United States.
Right.
Do you realize that? Alexander Hamilton started tariffs. Alexander Hamilton, 1777, 1778, whatever the hell it was, started tariffs to basically bring in a negotiating process of how to do business and economic relief.
Right.
It's
Keep
no
people
different
in
today.
line. Exactly.
There are tariffs that are in place today. There have been tariffs that have been in place for decades. And they do very good things for us. Unfortunately, when you look at the deficit and the budget and the debt and everything else that we have in place right now, and the inequity between the trading alliances in which we have around the world. I mean, think about this. We were just over in Paris. Ready? How many Fords did you see in Paris?
The answer is zero.
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 How many Chevys?
Zero.
How many
Fiats over there? What's super popular?
Oh, there was tons of Fiats, yes. They were everywhere.
You name it, it's over there, right?
But the point
Hyundai,
being, right.
You know, Mercedes-Benz,
Right,
blah,
right.
blah, blah, Jaguar. I'm not kidding you. We were there for 7 days.
We were trying to find
I
them.
was literally looking for them
Yes.
and like seeking them out, and I could not find a Ford, a Chevy, or a GM car.
And because of tariffs.
Tariffs.
Right.
Europe has tariffs on the United States. They tariff the hell out of our products coming in the door. Same story with China. Same story with Japan. Same story with, a lot of these other countries. So our products are being tariffed into their countries, which is basically a barrier of entry because then no one wants them, right? Yeah. But we don't have the same barrier of entry when they come the other way. So that's the inequity between the deficit in the trading deficit wars that are out there. So, but that affects everybody, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, we're not here on the radio to talk about the U.S. National debt and trading deficits. How does it affect you?
That was my next question. How does this affect the families you serve right now?
I think the jury is out, right? So the jury is out. What else? What is one of the biggest things that have led to inflation?
Pumping, $10 trillion into the economy?
There you go.
Yes, right.
Where did we get the money from? We just didn't fart it out.
Right.
We printed it, right? Or we borrowed it. When we print it and borrow it, that's why our debt now is $36,031,300,992,000 and change and rolling. If you go to usdebtclock.org, I'm looking at it right now on my phone.
Yeah.
Ready? Let's do a little trick here. Not a trick. A little
study session
exercise.
Here.
Ready? We're going to pause for how long it takes to put $1 million on the national debt. You ready?
Okay.
Set.
And
go.
Pause. Good.
All right, hit it.
There it is.
I know how that was it. That was it.
11 seconds.
We did this at one of our workshops, and people were shocked that's all it took was 11 seconds to put that on the clock there.
A moment of silence is longer than $1 million.
Right.
We are at a point where we're literally almost at a tipping point, ladies and gentlemen, where national debt is literally causing everything that you buy on a daily basis to be more. And why that happens is something called monetary inflation. Monetary inflation is the erosion of the United States dollar or any dollar or currency. Today, the $1 bill buys you, or I should say in 1920, $1 today would have bought you $26 worth of goods back then. Why is that important? Because we're living in a 2-person, 3-decade retirement. And if you're not retired so far, you have to take those things into consideration when you're building your retirement plan to figure out how long is your money going to last.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Isn't that one of the biggest fears people have when they retire is what?
Running out of money.
Running out of money.
Is that still the number one fear?
Number one. Always number one.
People would rather go to the dentist than talk about running out of money.
That's
right?
true.
And nobody likes to go to the dentist. Amen. Neither do I. But the fact of the matter is it's a huge fear. Why? We're living longer. Inflation costs more. You still want to do the things you're going to be doing. You still have to afford your style of life. You have to afford your health and everything else that goes on. So all those things take money. When you take into consideration the erosion of the dollar, taxes, which we can talk about in a couple minutes if you like, potentially Social Security changing to the point where it could be going away for some people to some degree. We talked about that in the last couple of weeks. Go to our podcast. You can check out some of those. Or you can call in. What's that number, Pat?
That number is 908-844-8337. And give us a call because we design and create strategies to help you evolve with these kind of things.
Yeah,
I mean,
and
that's
to stop
the
you
whole
from
point.
running out of money, right?
Exactly.
So, I mean, that's the biggest thing. So when you take these things into consideration, running out of money is interrelated to the national debt.
Right.
And how does that happen? Well, the national debt causes the United States government right now to, how about this? Everybody out there listening probably has a credit card. When you open up your credit card statement, it says minimum interest due. That's like usually the minimum payment because if you pay it, you didn't pay anything off, right? It's just a payment that's due for interest.
Right. And then next to it, it tells you if you only pay this minimum interest payment,
it'll take how many years?
It like 20 years.
50 some odd years
exactly.
to pay off, right?
It's true. Look at it. It's not right on your statement.
It'd be dust growing on your ears by the time
That's
it
so
got
true.
out.
Yeah.
So the interest only, ladies and gentlemen, on the national debt is $1 trillion. $1 trillion. $1 trillion.
I think they said breaking that down, each taxpayer is paying what $250,000 to $300,000.
$272,000.
I was close, wasn't I?
You were close.
Yeah, thank you.
$272,000.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
that's per taxpayer.
Per taxpayer.
$272,000.
Right, and that's
each.
right now.
So add that on. So if you own a $250,000 house, you now owe $250,000 potentially because $500,000. Right. Because of all the debt that you are, because you're an American citizen.
It's
Congratulations.
Crazy. Yeah, exactly.
$36 trillion is absurd. I mean, think about this. 1 trillion, if you put that into seconds, Mark, that's almost 32,000 years. If you put 1 billion seconds into time, again, what's 1 billion seconds? It's about 80 months.
It's insane.
80 months. Is that nuts?
It is not.
You just can't comprehend trillions when we have 36 of them. Now, that's not even the worst part, because when you literally look at what's called unfunded liabilities, what are unfunded liabilities? That's all the money in which the government is already on the hook for people's health benefits, their pension benefits, the buildings in Washington, D.C., to run the government into the future, Social Security, Medicaid, all that, right? We are at a record $115 trillion.
Yeah, let that sink in. Trillion.
Let that sink in. Put that in your coffee in the morning.
Yeah.
Holy.
It is. It's insane.
You need a little shot of Jack Daniels in the coffee after that one.
But you could definitely give us a call at 908-844-8337. We would love to help you out. Listen, there's a lot of things that happen in life and in the world, but we'll be able there to sit with you and evolve with you and you'll have a lifelong partner with us here. Absolutely.
Did you bring back
all those things?
Good bottles of wine?
Yes,
Paris, because after looking at usdebtclock.org,
yeah, you didn't need that wine.
Just put a damn straw in it. It says debt per taxpayer, $272,000.
It's per taxpayer,
per citizen.
Did you bring that up? It looks like a slot machine. Doesn't
it does.
It really does. Yeah, it's hard to look at. We're into it now. It's a holiday season. Get ready for Christmas and the New Year's. Go check out usdebtclock.org. Well, I'm grumpy. Bah humbug.
That'll get you. But you know what's so funny? To the opposite of that, though, Mark, I just saw on the news today, they're actually saying since Trump has become, elected, that people actually just in the last 2 weeks, they're showing that people like Macy's, things like that, are actually showing that people have now come out, though, to spend money.
Is that the confidence?
Yes, it is a confidence.
It's a
confidence. Absolutely. They're saying that in the last 2 week tick that they've seen, things have gone up because of Trump being elected.
But
they
unfortunately, they're still putting it on their credit card, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Unfortunately.
And then you get a little letter in the mail, too, that says, oh, by the way, now it's up to 49%, 39%.
Well,
you know what I mean?
Hopefully
for your interest payment. That's crazy.
You were talking earlier about building strategies, and I love how you said that earlier, Peggy. You said, we design strategies to help you evolve with the economy.
Absolutely. We're a lifelong partner to help you as you go along with your retirement journey. So all these little things that come up, we always have, there may be little roadblocks here or there, but we will sit down with you and we will be prepared, for all those little roadblocks.
All right. What are you hearing? Let's talk about confidence here for a couple seconds. Again, that number 908-844-8337. We have a representative standing by right now to talk to you. Get on the calendar to sit down with Peggy, Randy Fisher, and the teams at Liberty Financial Group and Artemis Wealth Advisors. That's one and the same. The voices you hear, that's who you will meet on that initial no-cost, no-obligation consultation. So let's talk about the families you serve. What's their confidence? Are they out feeling pretty good about the holidays, feeling pretty good about 2025? What are you hearing?
I think it's a mix. You know what? Like I said, he's been elected, for 2 weeks now.
Yeah, a month.
So I don't know if there's, like they're saying in the news that yes, the general population, and they're showing this in their, budgets and things like that they are, spending a little bit. But I think people are still, like Randy said before, I think they're still holding off a bit to see once he gets in and let's see where we're going with this, right?
I think there's still a bit of doubt.
Yes, absolutely. I think so too.
I think people are still like, well, he's still not in there yet.
Right.
Who knows what can happen?
Yes, exactly.
So that's on one side of the aisle. The other side of the aisle is still in, I hate to say this, denial. They really just still didn't want it to happen.
Right.
But again, for the next 4 years, ladies and gentlemen, not for nothing, but get over it. Yeah. So, I mean, it's more to politics than what goes on in your daily life. I mean, think about it. Your life is more important than worrying about if Donald Trump is in office right now.
But I also think, too, listen, you go to the grocery store, thing like that. I actually just went to ShopRite, and I had, butter for $1, just for, a special for a day or two. I'm like, ooh, when did we last see that? Butter was, $8 a week ago.
Don't get crazy. And don't think because Donald Trump came in, the savior of the universe is going to change everything overnight and everything's going to go back to where it was. It's not going to happen, ladies and gentlemen. It's just not going to happen. So you have to have the right expectations. Inflation is going to be sticky for a while, and we're at a new plateau. Get used to the prices in which you're currently paying, because they may fluctuate downward shortly, or maybe in the next 18 months, they'll get a little bit more flexible to be depressed. But get ready to understand that these prices in which we're paying right now, they're not going away.
Is that how you define sticky inflation?
Yes. Sticky inflation. And what happens is, think about this. And again, anybody listening to the show, think about you or your parents. You or your parents potentially bought your first house for less than or equal to what the car that you purchased last just cost.
Yeah, that's insane to think about, right?
Okay, think about that.
Yeah.
That's sticky inflation.
Yeah.
That means the fact that over time things have got stickier and stickier and they've basically stayed there. Or actually they've rose and got sticky and stayed there. I'll give you another example. 1970. You can buy a Big Mac, fry, and Coke for how much, Peg?
I think, what was it?
70-something cents, 75 cents, 70 cents.
Yeah, just
right?
under $1, right?
Now, today it's worth what? Now, depending on who you talk to, because I got somebody really mad at me the other day because I told them it was about $16, $17.
And they said, that's not true.
That's not true. I can go to the app and buy it for $9.
Yeah. Randy's like, I just went in the drive-thru. I'm telling you right now.
I'll show you my receipt. It was about $16. I'm eating McDonald's.
That was for the value meal.
Yeah. So, listen. But it's the same salty kangaroo meat with the same French fries with the same secret code Coca-Cola.
Yeah.
It's $15, $9, $10, whatever the number you want.
That 35.
It's a lot more than 75 cents.
That 35 years ago was under $1, right?
So 40 to 50 years ago, you can buy the same thing for a lot less. What I'm getting at, ladies and gentlemen, is if you're living in a 2-person, 3-decade retirement, whatever you're paying for today, in 15 years from now, it's at least going to be double, right? So you want to go to the store and buy a $9 gallon milk?
No.
Well, guess what? No one really thinks it's comprehensible, but potentially it could certainly happen.
Right.
How much money out of your retirement is going to need to afford spending money on groceries, spending money on energy? So when you don't take these things into consideration, you have a shrinking retirement over time, not an appreciable retirement. You have a depreciating retirement, which means you're going to find out that it's going to be harder and harder to get ends to meet. Mm-hmm. And if anything happens in between there that you didn't take into consideration, like changes to Social Security, in a decrease in the benefits, or potentially just yanking them out from underneath you? How about if your spouse dies? That payment is basically gone. If you've made a bad decision and you took a single life only pension option and you didn't know about it and your spouse disappears, God forbid.
Yeah.
And you get a letter saying, I'm very sorry, but your payment has now stopped because you made the decision. These are all things that have consequences where a lot of people don't find out about how these planning strategies should have affected them or will affect them until, unfortunately, it does affect them.
But give us a call at 908-844-8337. We will definitely help evolve with you on all of these strategies, and just make sure that, we have things in place where no matter what happens in the world, what happens out there, we will definitely be able to help you with your financial planning.
Again, that number, 908-844-8337. We have a representative standing by right now to talk to you. A couple of pieces of information to get on the calendar to sit down with the team at Liberty Financial Group and Artemis Wealth Advisors. Again, 908-844-8337. You were talking a couple of seconds ago about the families that you serve, and some people are feeling pretty confident about moving forward with Trump, but going back into the White House. Some people are all doom and gloom, but you made a great point when you said, look, if you're a big fan of him, it doesn't mean you can go just spend willy-nilly and everything's going to be all right. But in the same vein, if you're not a fan of him, it's not the end of the world, because your job, Randy, Peggy, take the emotions out of retirement planning.
Absolutely. Yeah, and we do that 100% here. Absolutely.
And again, not everything's going to be hunky-dory. Without a doubt, there's going to be some blocks and roadmaps and bumps and bruises and everybody else that people take. And that's just normal. That's life, right? No matter who was in the White House, or who's in the Congress or the Senate or whatever it is. But your financial plan has got to be able to roll with these things.
Yeah.
And also, I look at it from a different standpoint. I want to figure out how we can prosper from this scenario. What can we be looking at right now? We have lists of stuff that we're looking at right now, and we've been very successful at this over the last number of decades. This is not new to us. This is just something that we do. So it's not guessing, but it's projecting, it's forecasting, it's basically trend analysis of what is potentially going to happen, because we're putting the probabilities in our favor from the history of what's already happened. So we're kind of like history buffs to a degree, and fluent in finance, but we're applying those techniques and strategies and the information and the experiences and the education in which we have to the current scenario. And how do we help people's portfolios? How can we make sure that we can minimize risk? Mm-hmm. How do we make sure that we're going to maximize the potential profit on their gains? How can we maximize the potential amount of money coming into their doorway and minimize the amount of taxes, fees, and expenses associated? All of those things are what we do every single solitary day for our clients and clientele. And we've gotten, I got to tell you, this year we've gotten more referrals from our clients.
Absolutely.
That said, I was a believer to begin with, but now I see what you do. You must call my brother. Please call my sister-in-law. I have a coworker. Please do. Can we have them come to your workshop? When's the next one? thankfully, and I want to say this wholeheartedly, thank you to everybody out there that's listening, that are clients.
Yeah, it's our best clients.
We really appreciate you. We really do.
We consider our clients absolutely as family. I don't even consider them as clients. They're always our family. When you come in here, I hug you. Randy hugs you. When there's no we're very close to our clients here, and that's what we believe in. The way that we look at it is, when you come and sit across from the table from us, I look at you. You're my mom. You're the person who I want to help and take care of. You're my dad. You're the person who I want to make sure that your finances are going to be good to go. You're going to be set for life. That's who I look at my clients as my family, and how I want to protect them and make sure that they're prosperous through their retirement journey.
And we've built the firm specifically where we are the people you see when you walk through the door.
Right.
Yes.
You're not walking through a high-rise building and there's 53 people that are sitting in the front, and you figure out who's going to be there. And we don't have turnover like that. I mean, listen, we have office staff and we have people that help us behind the scenes. And most people are like, oh, it's only you two? And we laugh about it. It'd be impossible if it was just us two.
All right.
But we have a great staff behind the scenes. But for the most part, we are who we want our clients to see. And let's be frank, that's who our clients want to see.
That's right, exactly.
I mean, when you go into a doctor's office, do you want to see the doctor, or do you want to see the nurse practitioner, the nurse assistant?
No, I want to see the doctor.
The person who's in there for medical school and everybody. You want to see who you're in there for,
yes,
right?
I do.
That's what it really comes down to.
Let me ask this, because we say it every weekend here, and we're bumping up against it, but let's define it, because we say Real Retirees of New Jersey, powered by Artemis Wealth Advisors and Liberty Financial Group. That is the both of you. So, Randy, Artemis Wealth Advisors, what do?
We make sure that we create appreciable retirements for people to never run out of money.
Yeah, that's cool.
We make sure that what they have is the least amount of money that they will ever have moving forward.
Oh, that's great.
And what's even more to that is we want to make sure that they can accomplish everything and anything that they want to do throughout their pre-retirement or retirement, and make sure that it is the right thing for them and their family. Because a lot of times, some of the biggest things that we put a smile on our faces about, and this is some of the saddest moments, is when things fall apart for families. We know the plans in which we already put in place, literally, it's just like putting a period at the end of the sentence, because it's just going to continue on like nothing ever happened.
Perfect, yes.
Between picking up people's pieces, and again, that's what a lot of people come to us for, because we're like disaster recovery specialists.
You always say that.
Our clients basically have called us that, so we've kind of adopted it.
Absolutely.
But it's like picking up all the bad things that have happened through their relationships with prior financial advisors or insurance agents or whoever they were dealing with. And they've come to us and threw this big pile of garbage on the table and said, can you help me? And we sort through it, and there's some good stuff, and there's some things that need to be changed, and we do. And we put that into a roadmap in which we can accomplish what they're looking to set forward. And the biggest thing has to do with the safety, stability, and the well-being of their family. That's what we're looking for.
Give us a call at 908-844-8337. We would love to help you.
All right, Peggy, Liberty Financial Group. Tell me about that. What do you do for the families you serve?
The way that I think about it is we like to, design and create strategies to help people evolve, like I said before. Like, no matter what happens, we are going to be here. We will have the plan. Doesn't matter what comes up, out there. We are ready to help you to get through any of those, crazy life things.
Right.
We always, as Randy says, we talk about, God forbid, if something happens, if there's an education change, if there's a home change, if there's you lost a job, you got a new job. We are here for you to help you no matter what comes up in life.
We are an independent financial services firm helping individuals create retirement strategies using a variety of financial and insurance products to custom suit their needs and objectives. Investment advisor services offered through Artemis Wealth Advisors, a registered investment advisor. Exposure to ideas and financial vehicles discussed should not be considered investment advice or recommendation to buy or sell any financial vehicle. Past performance is not a guarantee of future results. Investments can fluctuate and when redeemed may be worth more or less than when originally invested. Artemis Wealth Advisors is not affiliated with nor endorsed by the Social Security Administration or any other government agency and does not provide legal or tax advice. Please consult with your attorney, accountant, and or tax advisor for advice concerning your particular circumstances. Annuity guarantees rely solely on the financial strength and claims paying ability of the issuing insurance company. By contacting us, you may be provided with information about insurance and annuity products offered through Randolph A. Fisher, insurance license number 9616074, and Liberty Financial Group, LLC, and Peggy Fisher, national license number 189-42003 and 570-5833.